Association. Welcome to the first edition of The Heart of Taekwondo. This video series is intended for our students and friends who wish to study at home during this particular time. And we will be covering different segments of traditional Taekwondo. If you look at traditional Taekwondo, you can think of it as a vast mosaic of many different components, not the least being meditation, a way to prepare the mind for the vigorous training to come. And so we'll devote our first chapter to martial meditation. Over the course of centuries, meditation has been used for many different purposes: yogic meditation, tantric meditation. But martial artists for centuries have been using it to calm the mind, to remove any preconceptions, and to remove anticipation so that they can react rather than anticipate. There are different methods of martial meditation. Some are used to enliven the internal energy we call ki, that we as martial artists use to amplify technique. One method, of course, is to join the mind and body together in ilyo, or oneness. The other is to still the mind completely for relaxation purposes. And because of the current situation that we're facing today, I know many of our students and friends would prefer that we work on that type of meditation today. So that will be a meditation of stillness. With me today I have instructor Shane Heslin and instructor DeMeglio with us, and they will be helping me in teaching you this type of meditation. So let us begin. Samida. Have a seat, please. So as you can see, we're sitting cross-legs. There are different leg positionings. One, of course, is the half lotus position, where one leg is on the calf of the other. The full lotus would be both feet on the calves of both legs. I personally have trouble with that, so I couldn't do it. So I sit comfortably. The most important thing is that you're comfortable during your meditation. If you're not, then it's going to obviate all the benefits associated with it. So we're sitting cross-legged. We're on a pillow. As you can see, Shane and Taylor are on a pillow. And ideally, you want to sit on the first third of the pillow. It stops you from leaning backwards. So the legs are crossed for a purpose, and I'll explain that in a moment. We also take the hands and we position them in a certain structure that's known as a mudra, M-U-D-R-A, and that is a Sanskrit word. And it's a seal of authenticity. This is a method of confirming the type of meditation that you're trying to accomplish. So what we're going to do is find yourself a comfortable place, first of all. Get yourself a pillow. It could be any pillow whatsoever. Sit cross-legs. Now the reason you're sitting cross-legs like this is because you're trying to draw energy from the earth. That might sound metaphysical, and certainly it is. But when you think about the energy that resides below us, the energy of tectonic shifts, the energy of volcanism, the earth is full of energy, so we can use that energy to draw up from the earth. If you think of the head, you can think of it as a majestic peak of the mountain, and that will be drawing sky energy. And if you think of space, you think of nebulas, you think of black holes, you think of all the cosmic events going on. Of course, there's an enormous amount of energy in the universe. So if we can figure a method of joining those two together, it strengthens us, gives us resolve, gives us the strength the martial artist needs to conquer any adversary or any adversity that we come in contact with, like now, right? So the legs are crossed to draw up the earth energy. We're going to take our hands and we're going to use something called a cosmic mudra. So whatever hand is dominant, whether you're left-handed or right, will be on the bottom. Okay. So my hand, I'm right-handed, so that's going to go on the bottom. We take the thumbs and we join them together, as you can see the instructors are doing, right? And the goal is to make a perfect oval rather than a peak or a valley. So we take that perfect oval and we rest it in the lap. And you can see this mudra is right in front of something we call tanjan. Tanjan is your ki or internal energy center. In Korean and Japanese, we call that energy ki. In Chinese, it's qi. You've heard of qigong. We're doing qigong methods. So this oval is resting in our lap from the back of the hands. Now, most important is to sit straight, not stiff, but straight. And you want to lift the chin to open up the airways so that you can breathe. Mindful breathing, not your everyday breathing, okay? So here's your position to be seated in. Head is up, spine is straight but not stiff, shoulders are softened, facial muscles are softened. Usually sometimes you grind your jaw, right? So you want to put yourself in a relaxed position here, just like you say. And then you want to take a breath. So that's a centering breath, okay, a first centering breath. Then you want to close the eyes to shut off any visual distractions. Unless you're a very experienced meditator, you'd want to close your eyes. Some meditators close their eyes halfway and gaze just beyond their nose. Let's not do that. Let's close the eyes entirely. Now you'll see that I have two instruments besides me. One is a Tibetan chime, and the other is a Korean temple stick. And we use these to bring you to the edge of meditation and to begin. So what I will do is use my Tibetan gong this time, and I'll strike it 3 times. That's when you begin your meditation. At the end of the meditation, I will strike it once, and then we'll go through a brief breathing exercise, and then a key or internal energy development exercise, and that will bring the process to an end. So let us begin. First sit, make your cosmic or oval mudra, as sometimes referred to. Just thoroughly relax now. Close the eyes. Breathe deeply. You want to focus on the breath. You want the breath to be the glue between the mind and the body. The breath is what we call a silent mantra. Mantra is a sound tool. And that will keep you focused. It will keep you from daydreaming. So as you breathe in deeply through the nose, filling the entire body from head to toe, as the Taoists say, full body breathing. And when that breath is used, you return it to the universe through the mouth. And you want to focus again on that breath. You can assign each inhalation and each exhalation a count of 1. And once you reach 10, go back to 1 again. And the more you do this, at some point you won't have to think about counting at all. So here we are sitting, prepared to hear the gong, and that's when we fully engage in the meditation. breath. Exhale. Rest. And take your third deep breath. Exhale. And rest. Slowly disengage by opening the eyes. Now we engage in a key development exercise. You can follow along and I'll guide you. Take a deep breath and lift the hands from Tanjung. Turn the hands outward and push forward. Exhale. Bring the hands back to Tanjung. Lifting. Pushing towards the sky, showing gratitude. Bring the hands back to Tanjung. Hold the breath, turn, hold the breath, turn the palms outward, push, exhale. Pivot in at the elbows, breathe in. Straight up, center line of the body. Exhale, tight fists. Breathe in, tight fists, tight, tight, tight. Lift. And vigorous push, vigorous exhale. Shake the hands out. So that was your seated meditation, seated martial meditation, I must define it. And at the end, key development exercise, internal energy development exercise. Your mind is very much like an unbroken stallion or an infant. It wants to either gallop away or crawl away at every instant it can. So we need to give it something to pacify it, something to tame it during your meditation, to keep it steady. So just like an infant, you would give it a pacifier, for the horse maybe some sugar. You give the mind the breath. And the breath is the glue, again, that keeps everything steady. So there's different types of breathing. During our meditation, we're breathing in and breathing out. We're very steady and slow. And at the end, you'll notice I directed you to take 3 very deep breaths. Those are full body breathing from head to toe. It's a very rich kind of breathing, and it certainly isn't something you want to do all the time. It would be very similar to eating a very rich food all the time. You become ill. So 3 times of that deep breathing is sufficient to really steady the body, to still the mind. To give you an example why this martial meditation, which now is practiced by police forces, by the armed forces, the United States Armed Forces, is so important, I'll use Shane and Taylor as an example of why we need this type of meditation prior to class, or the warrior would need it prior to battle. You remember that your mind is constantly active. During the day, it's full of taking in tasks, taking in knowledge. At night, it's out and about dreaming. So the question arises, when is the mind still? When can you actually create a still mind? And quite honestly, the only time you can do that is through the process of meditation. So as you can tell, martial meditation is different from tantric meditation or other types of meditation. The reason we focus on it in traditional Taekwondo, and again, it's one of the components of traditional Taekwondo, is to eliminate anticipation. Anticipation is fine during the holidays, but when it comes to martial arts and self-defense, it could prove lethal, it could prove deadly. We'll give you a demonstration of that right now. Instructors, would you please stand?
Yes, sir.
Face each other. Cheerio! Good yet. Defense stance. Okay, so if Taylor assumes that Shane is going to throw a punch at her, if she anticipates this punch, and instead of the punch, he kicks at her, right? She's going to be blocking that punch instead. So she's thinking he's going to punch, and he kicks instead, right? So she anticipated that punch, and she was kicked. So the point is she must respond. The mind has to be absolutely clear in order to do that. Just like a mountain lake at midnight with a full moon, being able to reflect that in an undistorted fashion. The mind needs to be undistorted, right? So she waits, and she creates this blank palette in her mind. And when she, instead of assuming that he's going to punch, he kicks, and she blocks. That's her response. So this is one of the reasons why we do meditation in martial arts. It's not simply for relaxation purposes. It's not simply to reinvigorate the ki. On a practical sense, it removes anticipation and replaces it with response. But for these troubled times we're living in right now, the seated meditation that we just executed now, this last few minutes, is excellent for clearing the mind and removing any anxieties, tensions, or distractions. If you remember, there's a very famous Asian concept that if you're experiencing regret, you're living in the past. If you're experiencing anxiety, you're likely thinking about the future. So rather than either of those maladies, it's better to stay in the moment, right at the present, the ever-changing present. And one of the ways we can do that is through martial meditation. I hope this first episode of The Heart of Taekwondo helped you. Following episodes will entail basic motions, different types of kicking techniques, hand techniques, and certainly the most important part of traditional Taekwondo, as Grandmaster Chun always used to say, is Pumse. Without Pumse, there is no Taekwondo. So would you please stand?
Sir.
And I thank Instructor Taylor DeMiglio and Instructor Shane Heslin for helping me for this segment of The Heart of Taekwondo. And I thank you for watching. I hope this is going to be helpful. Stay safe and stay healthy. Cheerio! Kunya.
Sir.
Chubby.